I think everyone in this audience, I think they have their own personal experience with Allah Ta'ala.
We say we send an email to universities for a CV, for a job application. This guy turns around and says, this is the most important email that I've ever sent in my lifetime.
Assalamu alaikum Waqar Saab, how are you?
I'm fine, Zakallah sir. How are you?
Very good, alhamdulillah. My question is, how do I keep a close relationship with Allah Ta'ala and stay focused on prayers and not have any doubts? Because as a teenager, there's a lot of distractions and temptations around because that's the society we live in. There's TikTok and friends forcing you to do this and that, and it really plays with your head. So yeah.
Yes, I think it's a very, very difficult, but it's a very good question and very relevant question, I would say. The purpose of human life is to make a relationship with Allah Ta'ala. If you're not achieving that purpose, then it definitely means that we are missing something. And this age and time, all the prophets in the past, they explained, they mentioned that this time, the time of the promised Messiah, or the time of the Messiah later age, is going to be the most difficult times. And I think all the prophets, कहते हैं उन्होंने पनाह मांगी अल्लाह की इस ज़माने के साथ. So the time in which we are living in, if you can say in the human history, it's full of distractions, and every distraction is accessible and reachable, and you can go and your phone. The biggest distraction is your phone. All social media, everything, you don't need to go anywhere if you want to go away or move away from Allah Ta'ala. Your mobile phone is enough for this purpose. And this is the biggest jihad of this our age and time. But you can't achieve anything in just 1 minute or 1 second. It's a continuous effort. The effort and the concept of jihad, the concept of self-reformation, the concept of improving yourself. This is the time when we have to be, if you, as Huzoor once mentioned this, Huzoor said, your willpower is going to be most important thing. If you want to change yourself, you just can't say, okay, I can't change myself. Whatever you do in life, the most important thing is your intention. If you want to do something, then if you're agreeing on something, yes, I don't want to do this thing again, then you need to be focused. And your willpower will help you to achieve that. Without your willpower, and then praying to Allah Ta'ala, saying lots of astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli zambin wa atubu ilayh, when you are asking strength from Allah Ta'ala, Allah help you. And ihdina siratal mustaqim, guide me on the right path. These are the prayers. If you follow the prayers and show your willpower, and don't disappointed, people wants, one nature, human nature is that they want result very quickly, this in this age in which we are living in. They said you can be rich in 1 month, double your investment. They want to get results very quickly, very fast. But in spiritual world, everything is very gradual and slow process. So if you are really wants to make a relationship with Allah Ta'ala, then follow the instructions. Listen to the khutbah of Khilafat al-Masih, recite Durood Sharif, write letter to Huzoor, pray, and then show your willpower.
I get a call that, can you entertain this guy? Just show him around, tell him about the Jamaat. I said, fine. He traveled every single week to the masjid from that university he was studying in, an hour and a half one way. 3 hours of journey, 1 hour of Huzoor's khutbah, local khutbah, so you're looking around 4 to 5 hours every single Friday. And he hadn't converted yet. Every few weeks, he would come with a bunch of questions and say, look, I want to ask you these questions. And I try to the best of my ability. A few times it happened, and that's when I realized that he's on a journey unlike anything I've seen before.
Right.
He came to me once and he says, I had a question for you, but I was sat here when Khalifa of the Jamaat, he wasn't a Muslim Ahmadi at that point, he answered the very question that I had in my mind that I wanted to ask. A year goes by, and this person is highly, he's not PhD, but he's done masters in various different subjects.
Right. So very well educated.
Very well educated. He writes me an email after a year. Like, mind you, we meet every week. He could have called me, he could have texted me. He sends me an email.
Right.
And the opening line of that email is, I still have it with me today, that this is the most important email that I think I will ever send in my lifetime.
Right.
Right? We say we send an email to universities, for a CV, for a job application. This guy turns around and says, this is the most important email that I've ever sent in my lifetime.
Right.
What do I have to do to become an Ahmadi? Raza Bhai mentioned about marriage, trying to convert somebody for that. This is somebody who was purely praying, traveling, questioning himself during journeys, a year, deciding whether this person leading the Jamaat, Khalifatul Masih, what is he telling me every Friday? Then going to other mosques and comparing it with that. And then coming to this conclusion that after all of what I've witnessed, like a proper academic person, right? He then sends me this email. Then he comes to me and says, if this is a spiritual Jamaat, there must be a system of monetary contributions. I didn't even tell him about what Chanda Aam is.
Right.
He goes, what is it? I said, this is what we do. And I thought I had to explain to him, where do I sign up? And I was like, hold on a minute. Like, I'm so blessed in this moment in time to be witnessing something as a Murabi. And this is really boosting my iman. You know, you talk about deen over dunya, right?
Yeah.
Even I could become complacent with that. And I'm thinking, if this guy's making an hour and a half journey one way, can I do that? Or am I taking it for granted, that I'm an Ahmadi Muslim, I was born into the Jamaat? Look at the transformation that this particular person took. This happened many, many years ago. And to this day, I get the shivers when I think about it. I think about the journey that he would make every single week. And I'm not his Murabi anymore, right? It's been years that I've been assigned something else. And I called him a few months ago just to see how he was and stuff. And his iman just keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing.
Right.
Right? And we talk about deen over dunya. I know there's example across the board, but this particular example that I'm sharing with you, brothers, is something that's given me spiritual life. Because he connected in those journeys with himself, with Allah Ta'ala, because he in his own words, he was agnostic.
Right.
Muslim by name, but didn't believe, in the Islamic structure as it is, right? From there, strengthening in belief in the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, trying to recognize the Imam of the age, listening to Khalifa Waqt every single Friday, traveling an hour and a half, listening to his khutbah in the masjid, questioning himself, listening to the answers given by Khalifatul Masih. Every step of the way, I was a passenger watching him go.
Assalamu alaikum. If you've come to the Ijtema and you're wondering what there is to do, here's a list of things for you to try. One of the things you can do is take part in academics.
So we just had the tilawat competitions. The judges gave feedback on this is how you can improve your tilawat. And similarly with every competition, the judges say that these are some things that we noticed. These are some things that you can do to improve your speeches or the tilawat or your nazam for the future.
That's great. So it's not just that they're just getting scrutinized; they're also being taught as well whilst they're being judged as well.
So the entire Ijtema process, academics, it's not a process of scrutiny. It's a positive criticism. So as a Muslim would envision the academics as you prepare. The best way to sharpen any skill is to compete.
Yes.
So if you're a sportsman, you want to compete, right? And that's how you get better.
Being tested always.
Yeah, exactly, because there's a natural amount of pressure on you, and that's when you perform the best.
Yes.
So we find, and this has happened for years and years, that after a khadim participates in a competition, he gets better. So he learns from that experience and he comes back better. It gets better and better.
Okay. Or you can get some tea from the tea stall. Sugar, no sugar, what do you want? The hub's always an exciting place to check out.
You walk into Gaza and you have children walking around that they've lost their parents, they've lost their families.
There's indoor sports there. So you've got archery, table tennis, pickleball. Aim. Something new this year is the obstacle course. Let's check that out. We got sports also taking place. So you can come to the exhibition, check out all the different exhibitions they have. They've got Waqf an-Nur, they've got free Arabic calligraphy, they've got a bookshop as well. So there's a number of things to check out in the exhibition.
We're coming now to the close of Ijtema, and we've seen a lot of highlights over the last few days, and I hope we'll be able to convey from the studio a sense of this occasion, this magnanimous occasion, and I hope we'll be able to provide something in terms of educational benefit as well. Hopefully, you've learned more about the Holy Prophet ﷺ, his life, his example, and how that can be a means of inspiration for us today, in this day and age.
We hope you've enjoyed this year's broadcast, and hopefully you've learnt a lot. I think it's about time we head over now to the main gar for the final session, which of course is the culmination of this wonderful experience of Ijtema. It's amazing, Takreem, because when we look at all of the facilities that have been put on, we look at the different departments, we look at just here in the exhibition where so many different departments of the Jamaat have come together to put on this Ijtema. We also, as we're just going to be stepping out into the main Ijtema arena, as it were, it really brings home the fact that we have so much going on. I mean, as we walk down, you'll be able to see behind us the scenes of all these different departments working together in unison. We have, of course, just behind us, we have the dining marquee, we have the Atfal arena, we have the various exhibitions, we have the outdoor talk, we have the hub, we have the bazaar. So much being put on for the sake of the Jamaat and for the attendees of this Ijtema. And it's almost crazy to see how all of these departments are coming together and they're unifying. I think that's indicative of the fact that we have all done bayt at the hand of Hazrat Khuddamul, see that unifying force of Khilafat that has not been appearing anywhere else. And it's that unifying force that means that all of these departments come together, all of these people coming together for the one purpose of serving the Jamaat of the Prophet ﷺ.
Exactly, and the real highlight of the Ijtema is the presence of Huzoor and Word,
Absolutely.
the Masih, the Talab al-Aziz. In fact, the physical presence of beloved Huzoor, of the Khalifa of our time, is a blessing in itself. There are a lot of departments here where beloved Huzoor has, may have personally trained the office bearers, personally given guidance, and really taken a strong, very personal, very deep interest in the activities and the running of the Ijtema. And so this Ijtema is so blessed in that regard. It's so special because we are blessed by the presence, the training, and of course the prayers of our beloved Master.
One really cool thing as well is the fact that a blessing that we have as Khilafat, something here in the United Kingdom that we enjoy so deeply. When we come to the Ijtema here, it's not just an Ijtema of Majlis Ahmadiyyat, and of course next week or in the few coming days we'll have the Ijtema of Ansarullah in the United Kingdom as well. It's even more pertinent because of the fact that we have the blessed opportunity to have and to listen to the words of Hazrat Khuddamul, which is of course the highlight of the Ijtema. We come together to experience one another, to build those themes of brotherhood and those love and that compassion. We understand the fact that this Ijtema was about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the perfect preacher. And with all that in mind, we come together to listen to the words of the elect of God, Hazrat Khuddamul.
Exactly, and so now we are coming, this is the apex, this is the pinnacle of the Ijtema. This is the main highlight, this is what we came for.
And so when we come here, we can see the people around us, of course, wearing the colours of Khuddamul, the United Kingdom. It's a very powerful event. Of course, people here ready to accept the words of Hazrat Khuddamul, to understand the message that he's about to impart upon us. And that's really what this is all about. We've come here as a gathering to come together to build those bonds of brotherhood. But really, we are here as members of the community of the Prophet ﷺ to act upon the words of his Khalifa Waqt.
We've been making memories over the last few days and throughout the different experiences, different talks, different exhibitions, the activities we've been having. But really this memory here, this is one of the most important, one of the core memories. I remember as a child, the final session was always the apex, was always the highlight. Seeing beloved Huzoor in person, listening to his words. Even as a child where perhaps I would not understood the deep philosophical lying meaning behind it. I sort of knew that this is a moment of significance. This is something important. This is advice that I need to take home and think about, really self-reflect on.
Absolutely. And it's actually, I mean, look, it's heartwarming to see. It doesn't matter rain, shine, snowing, sleet, fierce winds. The Khuddam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community are here, and in fact, when we look around in all the auxiliaries, they're here ready to welcome Hazrat Khuddamul Masih, because this is the love that is pounding in our hearts.
Exactly.
We are here for Hazrat Khuddamul Masih, and just to see the entourage of Khuddamul Masih about to enter the site, it's heartwarming to see, and it's something which is amazing. And we look forward to hearing from the words of Hazrat Khuddamul Masih al-Khamis.
Hazrat Khalifatul Masihul Khamis, Majlis Khuddamul Ahmadiyyat UK, Nara Takbir.
दुआ कर लें। आमीन। In essence, Khuddamul Ahmadiyyat was formed as a means for Ahmadi youth collectively to live their lives according to the teachings of Islam. It was formed to cultivate within our youth a spirit of service and sacrifice for their faith. Moreover, Majlis Khuddamul Ahmadiyyat was established not only to ensure Ahmadi youth fulfilled their religious objectives, but to ensure that their children and the future generation of Ahmadis remained committed to their faith. Furthermore, it was established so that Ahmadi youth could ignite a spiritual and moral transformation in the world by guiding other people towards Allah the Almighty and inspiring them to inculcate the highest moral values.